Hello and welcome to a special program called Cricket Predictor on NewsX, powered by OneXBet and Vomeki. IPL 2025 has kicked off spectacularly. Tonight, it's Punjab Kings versus Gujarat Titans. Shreyas Iyer leads Punjab while Gujarat is under the leadership of Shubman Gill. Both teams are playing their first match of the season and will be eager to start off with a win. But before that, we dive into today's clash. Let's take a quick look at last night's thriller. Delhi Capitals pulled off a stunning one-wicket victory over Lucknow Super Giants thanks to a brilliant half-century from Ashutosh Sharma. Batting first, LSG posted a massive 209 for 8, powered by explosive 50s from Puran, Marsh, but DC chased it down in style, reaching 211 in 19.3 overs to clinch a last-over thriller. Now, back to tonight's game. Gujarat Titans have upper hand against Punjab, winning 3 out of their 5 past encounters. Tonight's battle unfolds at the iconic Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad, Gujarat's stronghold, where they have consistently been delivering strong performances. Will Punjab break the pattern, or will Gujarat maintain its dominance at home? Let's dive into the action. We've got two of the best guests available. One who's the former umpire and now the man with the mic and a smiling assassin, Anil Choudhary, and a very senior cricket reporter, Rizvi, who joins us, both actually joins us from Mumbai. Atul Vasan, the former Indian player, will join us in a while. He's currently in the parking lot. Let's see when he gets to a safer place to talk to us. We'll be more than happy to welcome him. Welcome, gentlemen, on the show. Let's talk about last night. Anil Choudhary, your prediction of Delhi came right. How did you guess it?
जी बोलिए। आशुतोष ने तो सब किए, दरे पे पानी फेर दिया उनके दूसरी टीम के, और वन मैन आर्मी कर दिया बाद में। लेकिन जो बाद में इन्होंने बॉलिंग की और उनके रन रोके, जो वो बाद में काम आए, और आपको देखो कैसा आईपीएल हो रहा है कि 209 रन भी कम लगने लगे।
Absolutely, 209 was quite an effort. Rizvi, did we expect 209? We're talking about 300 at one stage. 200 seems to be now a very achievable target. Do you think that something is wrong with the statisticians?
No, I think because of impact player, the average score has increased. Right. It is now 220. It is because of impact player, because you have extra player. And right. I told you yesterday also.
Yes.
If domestic players are performing, the team is going to win. Simple as that.
Just help us understand the domestic players' performance in yesterday's match so that we can analyze it better. Anil Choudhary.
Ashutosh, you must have seen the other guy who was bowling leg spin, and he also, but at the same time, I think the team of Lucknow, they bowled a lot of loose delivery outside the off stump. I don't know, initially they took wickets. Shardul Thakur bowled well. Surprisingly, he never completed 4 overs, and they were bowling outside the off stump. It was like we say in Delhi, chore bowling. They were not bowling stumps to stump. Look at Vishnoi, he was bowling outside off stump. And that leg spinner who hit before Ashutosh, he got a lot of free hits on the offside. He was playing one shot only. He was swinging his bat, covers, extra cover. And by the time they realized that bowl him into the stumps, he was set. Then he was hitting straight deliveries also. So I think planning in bowling and good line, they could not calculate. They were bowling too many outside the off stump.
Rizvi, you've seen Shardul Thakur. In fact, you met him a month ago before, when he was not picked up, and then there were certain performances in the Ranji. What do you make up of Shardul Thakur, the player, his mind, his mental makeup? Just take us through his personality.
No, recently I had a meeting in the second half of the Ranji Trophy where he was doing extremely well, and I could see the hunger in his eyes. I could see the hunger that he was bowling with, the way he was batting with. That interview lasted for more than 1.5 hours. But he was still, I mean, despite being on the sidelines, despite being ignored for the Australia series and the other, and being unsold in the IPL auction, which was surprising for him, considering he's been a utility player for any side. I mean, it's a different matter that sometimes he goes for big runs, but then he's still an experienced guy. He comes up with match-winning Lord. Otherwise, he wouldn't be called the Lord Shardul Thakur. So I could see that hunger, and more than that, I mean, he was keen on getting back onto the field with the white ball as well as red ball, especially in the bigger games. I mean, you saw what he did in the Ranji Trophy. He was lucky to get an opportunity. I was surprised in Lucknow Super Giants as well. I was surprised. Why was he given again? I second Anil by why was he given only 2 overs despite getting 2 big wickets? This was surprising coming from
Anil Choudhary, yeah, let's get into a discussion. This is a stats show, but discussion, data, and drama. That's what we call. Anil Choudhary, why was there a miscalculation? Did they take it a little too light?
I think no, not light. I think Rishabh calculated wrongly. He thought spinners will work because that's Siddharth bowled well. But Shardul is a bowler who has got slower, Yorker. He can, variety he has with his experience is too good. Against New Zealand ODI also last time you must have seen when New Zealand was about to chase 350, he was the guy who was given last over and he got leg before that left-hander.
Absolutely.
So he's such a good bowler with lot of experience. I don't know why they miscalculated.
Well, that was yesterday.
Think,
yeah, go on, thoughts.
Yeah, Sunil, what I think, Rishabh Pant wasn't prepared for Shardul Thakur because they had enough of good wherewithal when it comes to new bowling. They had Mohsin Khan who is doing extremely well for the past few years. They had Mayank Yadav who did wonders, and then he had a couple of more bowlers who were prepared for this challenge. But suddenly you bring Shardul from nowhere and Rishabh Pant, who's leading Lucknow Super Giants for the first time on, and also may not have seen Shardul Thakur a lot. That could have been one of the reasons, and that's why he depended on the spinners, the slow bowlers. That could have, and it was a big total. He thought they could have defended it, and the more the thing would have been, he would have attacked more to going for the wickets. But then again, the spinners bowled outside the off stump. So a lot of things, I think, a lot of factors counted in. That could be the reason Shardul underbowled.
Well, that was one of the reasons why. Let's move on to today's match, which is very exciting. We have with us Anil Choudhary, the man who's kind of umpired the most number of matches in IPL. What do you make of this particular pitch at Ahmedabad? Anil Choudhary.
Generally, these pitches are batting pitches and maybe later on they will spin. But yes, there will be something for spin because of this heat. Whatever you do, whatever you cover, they put some covers during matches like a thin dari kind of thing. But still that heat is there, so I think it will help spinner later on.
Right.
So average pitch, I would say 180 pitch.
Well, that's a good point to have. I'll thank Toss for joining in, and I would also welcome Atul Vasan. Atul, before you walked into this discussion, Anil had a thing to tell you. Anil, you want to go and quickly ask him?
Atul, where are you?
Don't ask this question.
Yeah, that's a very difficult question to ask live on television to Atul Vasan.
I was lucky actually. Listen. I was lucky, Atul. Anybody can win in T20 game, and the match they played yesterday, it was anyone's game. I think winning, losing doesn't matter. It was a good game of IPL.
Well, you've got your predictions right. Atul got it wrong, no problems. But Atul has got more than, several occasions he's got his prediction right. Let's go back and understand where we are today. In today's matchup, you have Joss Butler and, versus Yuzvendra Chahal. But before we get into that, Shreyas Iyer, Anil Choudhary. Shreyas Iyer comes in like a new skipper into a completely unsettled side. What changes would you expect today?
I think they are professional. It doesn't matter which team they are playing, and he's in good form. And the other captain also, Gill, he's also in good form. So it will be good competition. But I think because of better spin bowling with Punjab, I think that's slightly better. Although Gujarat have Rashid, Sundar, but I think Chahal and Barar. I found him very impressive. I'm very impressed with Barar. He's a bowler who can, bowl tight bowling, and he can bat also. And plus, don't forget they have Arshdeep also.
Absolutely, Arshdeep. That's a big matchup happening. Atul Vasan, what do you make up of the matchups that are happening today in a big match?
This is actually virtually brand new teams actually. So I think we'll have to watch few matches each to just see, because the names are there. Look at the fast bowling. Lockie Ferguson, Arshdeep and Chahal is also in the bowling. Marco Jansen. So probably the top bowlers of the world are there. And I think Shreyas Iyer has proved himself, and I think the weak link, I think, will be, in that maybe. I hope that they play Priyansh Arya because, he's from Delhi, and I would like to see him, and, another guy from Delhi making a mark like Ayush Badoni did, So I hope they get the chances, and he bats at the right number. But on the other side, Shubman Gill captaincy, I think the jury's still out. So I think how will he handle? And Shah Rukh Khan is somebody, everybody's looking to see. But they've got the old warriors, Rahul Tewatia is there. Rashid is not actually the same kind of Rashid we have seen over the past. And
Atul, just dwell on it.
The same thing about
2 years ago, Rashid was a completely different bowler. He was like a demon.
What happens is, because as you age, वैसे तो वो he's only 20 years old, but actually without minusing the nights, he's 20 years old. But his arm, the zip in the shoulder goes after a while, and I think that's making batsmen, get that slight bit more time to play off the pitch. So I think that's where he's lacking, and I think he's if he bowls faster, then he'll become flatter. So then the batsman can play with just a straight pitch. So I think that is something he has to work out, like Sunil Narayan did, and I think Ashwin is still relevant in these days. But he has to, because without him, they will not be the same potent force, because Josh Butler also is not the Josh Butler of 4 years ago.
Absolutely, very interesting. Josh the boss actually has lost his fizz. So has Rashid Khan. What do you make up of this? The new teams, the new players coming in. Siraj has also walked in. Anil Choudhary, when 3 new players walk into a side which has almost been there for some time, do you think there's some unsettling in the dressing room?
Atul rightly said. I think they will need 2-3 match, although they play practice matches also. One more player if he's fit and he's playing to be watched. Sai Sudarshan. He's a fantastic left-hander. I rate him very high. He's a good player for all the formats. Basics are so good, reach is good. If he's fit and playing, I think he can also become game changer, I tell you.
Well, that's an important point you've made. Also, let's look at the boundaries that have been scored in the clash again. 57% of the boundaries, they actually come in the first 8 overs of the game, which means that at the death, it's a little too less. Is this a new phenomena? Because we saw pinch hitting at the bottom. Atul, more and more boundaries are being scored in the power plays and the first 10 overs. Do you think there's some kind of a new method and the madness?
Not really. I think there's no rocket science. Basically, with impact player, you can actually just unleash yourself, hard at the top. Even if you lose wickets, you've got that cushion. So I think that's why teams are just not bothering about retaining their wickets and all. And I think just power plays, we'll see the average score. I think the power score for power plays now should be at least 65.
65, which means
and not losing more than 2 wickets.
Absolutely.
So this is the template.
In fact, the pitch that we are playing is little about 9 runs per over, especially when it comes. This is the average pitch score here in a T20 match. Take a step back. Let's delve a little bit more about Yuzvendra Chahal, the highest paid spinner in this IPL tournament, one of the highest wicket takers. In fact, the highest wicket taker in this IPL format is still cooling the benches. Do you think a time has come where you differentiate between the league legend versus a national servant? Atul Vasan, do you think the time has come to differentiate between the two? Atul.
Differentiate between whom? Chahal and whom?
No, Chahal, the legend of league, versus Chahal, who can't make a cut to the Indian team. Same bowler.
Let me tell you, I've got huge respect for this guy because, he's of small frame, but he has got huge heart. Because the way he bowls, and especially he's played all his cricket in Chinnaswamy, and where the boundaries are small, big pitches like that, still he, dares to toss it up, and he's not got that kind of X factor like other bowlers have. But because of his big heart, he keeps on tossing it up away from offside, and picks a wicket. And this is bigger ground for him. I think eventually he will not have that kind of impact, but but he has to be used as a wicket taker bowler up front rather than a guy who's going to contain. So I think somebody, because the other bowlers they have is Washington Sundar, Tewatia. So these are the kind of bowlers, but Yuzvendra Chahal should be used as an attacking bowler.
Well, that's a good point you've made. Atul had made an interesting point, and that was about Rashid Khan, that he's lost his fizz, the zoop voice that comes with the bowler. Anil Choudhary, you must have seen at least 100 of his games, Rashid Khan, very closely. How do you differentiate between the two bowlers? Again, both spinners, both in the same format, same height and everything. How do you differentiate between your Rashid Khan and Yuzvendra Chahal?
I think you must have seen these games, previous games. Bowlers, those who are changing the pace and flighting more, are more successful. Watch all the games.
Exactly.
And the bowlers who are pushing it too much on every delivery, or delivery is fine for a change, but those who are not flighting are not getting wickets because it's very hot, pitches are dry, the full Ranji Trophy season, domestic season gone. Whatever you do, the impact will be there of that too much of use. So I think Chahal has more heart than Rashid. And one more thing, because Rashid has been, I think, sorted by a lot of batsmen because he's almost same kind of bowler. Not much variations are coming. Chahal has a habit of bowling wicket to wicket because I still remember whenever he's hitting near the leg stump as an umpire, always wicket to wicket. He's never outside the leg stump. So he has bigger heart. Atul rightly said, looks tiny but bigger heart. And the bowler those who are going for wickets are better performer in this IPL. You keep watching.
Well, that's an interesting point. Let me just recap out of memory the three spinners who are in the top 5 of wicket takers in IPL. Leading the pack is Yuzvendra Chahal. Then you have Piyush Chawla at number 3, and at 5 is Sunil Narayan. Of course, some extrapolation of data, and I'm sure with experts like you, we'll be able to pinpoint the reason why.
I'm sure Amit Mishra is somewhere there also.
Yeah, he's languishing at 6 or 7 because there are more games happening right now, and this data was till.
So out of top 10 bowlers, how many are spinners?
So I mean, you have 4 of them, so which makes it, and 3 are in top 5. So when you look at the entire, and these are highest wicket takers, it need not necessarily be, talk about their strike rate, their economy, but it purely talks about the number of wickets. But again, take a step back. There's something to ponder that you've got spinners, and spinners, the flighted spinners will definitely make a better cut. Shubman Gill versus Arshdeep Singh, the kind of contest that we are looking at. Again, we are looking at matchups. Atul Vasan, what do you make up of Shubman Gill's batting, his confidence, his stroke play in the last 6 months coming into IPL?
I think I would, if I'm the captain of Punjab, I would put Marco Jensen because left-hander with that odd bounce earlier on, because if Shubman is opening, he has to go hard. And I think Arshdeep, rather than Arshdeep, I would bowl Marco Jensen because he's got the extra bounce and he takes the ball away. And if you're going hard, there's always a chance to get him out. And he's a super player. I think very few players have straddled the 3 formats and shown their class. I think KL Rahul was the first one to do that. But eventually, you see what happened, But Shubman Gill, how long he can carry on doing this? Because eventually we lost the test match against New Zealand because of the hangover of T20 and one-day games.
Yes.
And I think, very hard to just immediately switch on and switch off. But some players have got the capacity.
Well, Anil, what is your recollection of Shubman Gill, the under-16 player? You must have seen the metamorphosis from under-16 to the skipper of Titans. How has he changed, and what do you think about his technique?
He has grown up like anything because he has settled his footwork, and now he's not trying everything inside out, which was a problem with him because he was too much into that. That's why he was getting bowled also for incoming deliveries, and short-arm pull is too good, and he's in good form. But at the same time, Arshdeep also, with his incoming delivery, it will be a very interesting contest, I tell you.
Oh, lovely. We're waiting for that kind of a contest in few hours, in just few minutes. We're going to get into the live action. Of course, this is Cricket Predictor, sponsored by one-wicket Vumeki. And we have 2 of the best voices in the game, the best brains in the game. Atul Vasan, if you were to put your money today, other than your pocket, where would it be? On which team?
You're not allowed to put money on cricket matches, by the way.
That's a term borrowed from
basically,
Jeffrey
you asked this question. I think I'm sure this is the tone and tenor of all the shows of analyzing this IPL. Yeah, who's going to win? But this is just potluck. I think no team is so far behind each other on paper that you can actually say it. If it was a test match, I can say with more authority. If it is ODI, I can still crunch the variables. But in T20 game, you saw yesterday what happened. They were out of the game and they didn't have wickets, but still they won. So I think games like this, tells you that never stick your neck out. and just enjoy the game. I hope this game goes to last
Let's
over.
look at the first power play. Let me put it this way. The team batting first, what is the best power play? Are you still sticking your neck up with 65? 67?
I think, if you don't get the 60, 65, then, you have to make up later on. And if you lose wickets also, then the players coming in the middle don't have any, comfort level at all. And I think if you're going hard, then if you lose 2, 3 wickets quickly, and if you see this Gujarat team, they've got, they've got Washington Sundar, Rahul Tewatia, Rashid Khan, Rabada, Prasidh Krishna, Siraj. So the bottom 6, you can say they're all-rounders. But, they can get an impact player. But Josh Butler and Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan and Glenn Phillips also, don't forget. So they have to do the maximum scoring.
Anil, Choudhary, what is your prediction for the first 6 games for the other team?
I think power play will be 70 for one kind of score, because the way they are playing now, all good players, they're coming at the top and hitting. I think that's a plan of every team now, because of impact play, they have extra better if something happens. So teams are trying 70 in first 5 overs. Maybe if they lose wicket, it can be 65. Yeah, Atul is right.
You're absolutely.
No, but Ahmedabad, I'm just giving the margin of 5, 6, 7, 10 runs, and I am just waiting to see if Ricky Ponting will eventually win something, because I think if somebody hires Ricky Ponting, he should be paying the money to the franchise if he doesn't win, because he's just shifting and not delivering. How long can you just go on the gravy train? I don't understand.
Old rivalry.
Old rivalry. It's not. It's this logic.
Joking.
Yeah, just
correct,
for optics.
As a professional, you are bound to give results.
In fact, earlier in the day, we had a discussion about Justin Langer's style of coaching a team or mentoring a team versus Ricky Ponting. I don't know which one is more effective, but the Aussies think that Ricky Ponting comes in very hard and he can go like an elder brother, but at the same time, he hasn't won any trophies. What do you think goes in the owner's mind to retain someone like him? Optics, popularity, social media, or just pure the dugout luxury, like a royalty coming and sitting in the dugout without delivering?
The issue is that when he comes, he brings his own entourage. He brings his the clique. 5, 6, the support staff also. So the whole gang shifts. And the owners are okay with that, I think. But eventually, if it's value for money and you can leverage it elsewhere with commercials, because Ricky Ponting is still marketable. So I think that is the angle, not the coaching bit, because you can put anybody to coach a good team and they'll still win.
Well, absolutely, we can put anybody. Just take a step back. We saw some kind of discussion with Rishabh Pant and the owner of LSG yesterday, Mr. Sanjeev Goenka. Did it create some ripples? Were you happy with that? What you saw on TV, Atul Vasan? Was it okay? Was it calm?
I don't think so. Basically, the owners talking to the captain. I think if you are too over-imposing, it's not right. I hope that he's a smart guy. Somebody so big and such a smart businessman. He knows that you can't be actually just putting that extra bit of pressure. Leave the cricket to the guys and the team you hired. And I think just basically talking to him just for optics and just encouraging them, it's always good.
But Anil Choudhary, let me understand. Do the coaches have, the owners of IPL, do they have the armband to actually walk inside the playing area, the field of play?
No, there is a time where they can enter. During game, they don't enter, and it is normal. Why not? They can always discuss. They are businessmen. So, and now they all have grown up, so they know what to say, when to say, what not to say. So they are generally professional. They are careful. They have got their cricket directors. They handle cricket affairs. These guys generally don't interfere.
Well, absolutely. We hope so. That's the case, because last year when it happened, it led a very bad taste, and as Atul said, the decorum should be maintained inside the boundary line, because at the end of it, we are talking about the sanctity of the game called cricket, the game which was invented in India and is loved, admired, and kind of advertised in India so much so. Well, that's all we had time for this program called Cricket Predictor. Thank you, my gentlemen guests. Big names joining us. As we go along in the next week, we will have some more big names along with the current panel that we have. Keep watching NewsX. We'll be back after a short commercial break.